those who seek to dismiss these works as fiction and make believe are those who persecute us for our beliefs. They would see us burn upon stakes because they don't understand us, or what we do, or why.
You think because I have no words of conjuring that I cannot summon. You underestimate the process of conjuring. All I need is truth and words with rhythm, like this. Now witness the Noctilian behemoth, the priestesses of Astarte Nightmare, Astaroth. In shadows deep, where whispers dwell, Astaroth reigns, the Duke of Hell. From ancient skies, a fallen star, once a seraph, now bound in scar.
Great Astaroth, the secrets you keep in the echoing dark, where the lost souls weep. With legions of night you beckon and call, a treasure of darkness, the rise and the fall.
He teaches the craft, the math of despair. Through the veil of time, his wisdom laid bare. With a serpent's embrace, he weaves the thread of doubt and of laziness, where angels have bled.
Great Astaroth, the secrets you keep in the echoing dark, where the lost souls weep. With legions of night you beckon and call, a treasure of darkness, the rise and the fall.
A crown on his brow, with wings that unfold, a dragon's descent, a tale to be told. In the stench of the void, a breath of the down, with wolf at his side, by darkness he's planned. Once a goddess, now twisted in fate, from love to despair, monotheism's bait. Astarte's lament, in shadows confined, a transformation wrought by the hands of mankind.
Great Astaroth, the secrets you keep in the echoing dark, where the lost souls weep. With legions of night you beckon and call, a treasure of darkness, the rise and the fall.
So heed the dark tale of Astaroth's reign, in cathedral whispers, through pleasure and pain. When the night beckons and the silence is loud, remember the fallen, the lost in the shroud.
You see, whether I have the incantations, I can still call upon who I need, using personal experiences to mold the ritual's words that perform the same effect, as you'll see here.
In the shadows of the forest deep,
where whispers of the ancients creep. Baba Yaga in her hut of bone holds the secrets of the wild alone. A witch of power, both dark and bright, with the spirit of the night in her sight. Oh Baba Yaga, mistress of the trees, with your heart of shadows and your voice like the breeze, through the veil of magic your tale unfolds, a dance of the ancient where the wild heart holds. Once she worshipped a demon's might, in the depths of darkness she found her light, offering praise with every breath. In loyalty's grasp she danced with death, yet deep in her heart a potion did brew, to hide the scars of battle she knew. Oh Baba Yaga, mistress of the trees, with your heart of shadows and your voice like the breeze, through the veil of magic your tale unfolds, a dance of the ancient where the wild heart holds. A grimoire of power, a bridge to the soul, with each whisper secret she sought to behold. A clown with a balloon, the soul she would weave, crafting her laughter, yet none would believe. For in every jest a truth lay concealed, a heart once cast out, now fiercely revealed. Oh Baba Yaga, mistress of the trees, with your heart of shadows and your voice like the breeze, through the veil of magic your tale unfolds, a dance of the ancient where the wild heart holds. In the balance of nature she roams ever free, restoring the order as wild as the sea. For every transgression a lesson to learn, in the fires of chaos let the spirits burn. So heed her whispers, respect the dark night, for in her embrace both terror and light. With each haunting call she seeks to impart a journey of shadows, a dance of the heart. Oh Baba Yaga, mistress of the trees, with your heart of shadows and your voice like the breeze, through the veil of magic your tale unfolds, a dance of the ancient where the wild heart holds. So gather your courage, step into her realm, for the tales of Baba Yaga they guide at the helm. In the forest of whispers her story shall soar, a bard's tale of power forever and more.
This question encompasses a fragile subject involving God's interventions in His creation and the subject of free will. What makes people think that God tries to control events and the outcome of lives, that would defeat the purpose of His design to free will? People are made to be capable of making their own choices, to decide between what is right and what is wrong. He set this in place through Lucifer's rebellion in heaven. Nothing occurs in heaven unless it is God's will. Lucifer was the only angel ever created with this gift, to choose between right and wrong, good or evil. It is what made him so special. When he chose to rebel against God, it was because God had ordered the children they had with mortal women be killed because they were abominations capable of wreaking the chaos they did before the flood occurred. Lucifer's rebellion came as a choice. He renounced his allegiance to heaven because he saw God's command as something his free will did not agree with, out of anticipation because of the rumors of his name associated to the legend and myths of man. He was slain on the spot by the flaming sword of Michael that came protruding from behind him. To him, it was a pain like that of a flaming sword as he fell dead in the courtyard of God's throne where the angels would gather to discuss matters, and so Lucifer fell from heaven to the earth, cast out, and became the legend that fulfilled the scripture's account of the Word, who was present at the origins of existence as he was the left hand of God in creation and his vessel that he used to spark the origins of the universe. The purpose behind the immense power that Lucifer is capable of wielding, fell to earth as a mortal man. The bright and shining morning star of Bethlehem. You may not believe this, but I have studied many scriptures accounts of enemies from the war that occurred after his defiance of God's command, and they all tie together and reveal this unspoken truth, that the light of God that was within his Son, was the angelic remnants of Lucifer within a mortal form. There is more that was revealed. Lucifer's free will came through a human preexistence, that Lucifer was created from a mortal soul that God had chosen to one day mold into his left hand, combining the gifts that free will gives mankind, their artistic views expressed through their imagination. This ability was critical to the Creator's ability to create works of magnificence through his vessel. It was both his vessel's greatest gift, angelic free will, that was also the fail-safe backup in case his vessel ever betrayed him, as was said to one day occur. If it came to pass, then Lucifer's human preexistence as mortal man before his creation and the memories of a life that he led devoid of God's mercy, where he was denied being able to enter the sanctuary of God's house, because of the name he would one day bear, became the fuel that sowed the mistrust and ability to have faith in God, no matter what life or form he took. This seeded the rebellious nature that grew into the adversary that Lucifer became, keeping him predictable and easy to anticipate because of the rage that consumed him, all set in place as God's backup plan in case the legends and myths were true. If you apply this concept to all the questions surrounding Lucifer's mystery, it makes sense for once. However, the war against heaven was not done by Lucifer. By that point, Lucifer had been slain and fell. The actual war was carried on and occurred after his fall, and his name became a part of their battle cry, a montage for inspiration and hope in a conflict where the very Creator himself had become the threat to his own creation, made obvious by his command to have the innocent children of the angels and mortal women hunted and killed because of a possibility of what could happen, because of a decision to flood the earth, because of their choice of free will that causes them to cast off holding God as their highest authority and rejecting him. They carried their symbol of rebellion against what God had become, and for this God had Lucifer's name stricken from being mentioned in heaven. Believe it or not, it's your choice, but this is an example of why his name was forbidden as well. The truth of his fall and what his name inspired became the tool others would use to disrupt his kingdom's harmony through subjugation. It actually doesn't matter if it's not historically accurate. History is written by not only men but the victors and conquerors of men. They subjugate the people writing the recorded accounts of what they want history to say, and that is the history we know to be true, whether it is or not. The point of it is that we trust in God to lead us to the truth and not unto deception. While you scramble to find the truth or just wander lost and oblivious to the knowledge found in the truth we seek, I sit content with the truth I've been given and thirst not for more, as if I have not had a drop in days. I do not say this with pride over you. I say it with pity towards you. 1. Jesus, whether people realize it or not, Jesus was my angelic son, born to Mary. Here are some concepts to think about. 1. Who knew how to bear children with the mortal women? I did. It was my idea, a concept I know very well. 2. Who decreed that concept forbidden and so, would not, know how to do it, or anyone in his ranks as well? 3. Who has set Jesus to be my enemy at the end of days? 4. Who proclaims me to be the adversary no matter what my intentions are? 5. Who proclaims my name to be stricken from heaven, the records of my life unknown, my deeds a mystery? 6. who demands that what occurs in heaven is by his will and so nothing happens unless it is his will. 7. Who has set the church to hound my every step, interfere with every plan and effort I make, no matter its intention. 8. Who refuses to allow me to rest in peace, to find peace in my grave. 9. Who stole my place in heaven by sending me back when I was a child. 10. When I was in a coma. 11. Every near-death experience since. 12. Who destroyed my marriage with Lilith and set me up to be enchained and controlled as Apollyon, his destroyer angel to resist Putin. Who enslaved me. 13. Who had me hunted and killed 4 or 5 times before the age of 11 during the Dark Ages. 14. Keeps me bound in an obsession with religious accounts to equip me with what he knows I'll be compelled to argue against. People he uses to intentionally deny what I say no matter if it true or not, then condemn me for what I believe to be true despite the fact that he led me to those truths. That's not all this is but a short list off the top of my head. There are also foundations he set into the very church itself that directly is against me to ensure I remain seen as the enemy and not who I truly am. I was the one who was cast down to earth after I was slain in heaven for my transgression. Errol, also known as Cherubus, when she fell from heaven with Lucifer and the other rebel angels. Cherubus was her fallen name, exiled from heaven but cursed to walk the earth as the angel of death, carrying the souls of the dead to and from the place of the dead, never to enter heaven and never to rest in peace, not to be mistaken with Charon, the ferryman, who is a totally different being. Cherubus was the only fallen angel of the rebellion to fall and take on a feminine form. She was sent into exile until the end of the world along with the other 6 rebel angels, and afterward they are to sit outside the gates of heaven until the end of creation when the day of judgment begins. May it never be forgotten or lost to time this fact, for I have seen that Cherubus has convinced the churches and religions that she is one of the 4 archangels that protect the throne of God. This truly makes me wonder how accurate this throne and 4 angels are, as well as the source behind heaven's taint in their sense of justice and blind self-righteous indignation they have shown in their deeds and decrees. However, I also see that there are forces trying to cause us to fight each other, which means someone is orchestrating this conflict. So I should approach with an apprehensive perspective. This does seem to be the one who killed me in heaven after I relinquished my allegiance to heaven for God's command to kill the children we had with the mortals. Also the Bible depicts us having committed acts of immoral taste when we had children with them, but I've proven that this process that I know quite well, because it was my idea, an idea I knew to be true because of my human preexistence and the coming of the Son of God and his immaculate conception. Knowing of this, I had conceived a way, before my fall, of how an angel could achieve such a thing. I mentioned the process to the others, how an angel's wing, created by the grace of God's power, could pass through the human womb and spark the light of life within the womb, imitating the process of man's seed within her womb. This secret and sacred knowledge was what would one day birth the Son of God onto the earth, and is a process used frequently today called in vitro, or artificial insemination. If an angel wanted to learn the details and science behind the Immaculate Conception concept, this process is delicate, so immoral acts are not possible. The person must be willing. Thinking about it, an angel could reverse the role as a woman if the angel understood the pregnancy process and develop the child within a womb. However, I'd imagine a child born this way would be more angelic than human, as it would be developed more by the angel than the process within the mortal womb. What can you tell me about an Arabic legend known as the wandering unbound spirit of the desert, whose name was forgotten and forbidden to be spoken? This is my enemy, that which I sought Solomon's help for. These are the creatures he's sent after me since childhood. The creature you're describing seems to resonate with various folkloric themes found in Middle Eastern and Arab legends, particularly those involving supernatural beings that instill fear and anxiety in children. While there may not be a singular legend that perfectly matches your description, several elements align with known figures in folklore. 1. The Ifrit. In Arabian mythology, Ifrits are powerful and malevolent jinn often associated with fire. They are sometimes depicted as having animalistic features, including those resembling dogs. Ifrits are known for their cunning and can cause harm to humans, particularly through nightmares or trickery. 2. The Qareen. This is a type of jinn that is said to accompany each person throughout their life. In some tales, a Qareen can influence thoughts and actions, potentially leading to harmful behaviors during sleep, like sleepwalking. While they are not specifically dog-like, the Qareen can represent a darker aspect of one's soul. 3. The Baba Yaga influence. Although more commonly associated with Slavic folklore, the archetype of a witch or malevolent spirit that preys on children is prevalent in many cultures. In this context, a creature that causes children to levitate or walk into dangerous situations could echo the sinister nature of such figures. 4. Superstitions about nightmares. In many cultures, including Arab societies, there are various superstitions and beliefs about spirits that can disturb sleep or cause nightmares. These tales often serve as cautionary narratives for children, warning them of dangers that could arise from their actions or fears. 5. Folklore of haunting spirits. Many cultures have stories of spirits that can possess or haunt children, causing them to act out in dangerous ways during sleep. These narratives often serve to explain sleep disturbances or accidents that occur at night. The specific imagery of a part demon, part dog creature causing levitation or leading children into fires might be more of a modern interpretation or amalgamation of various elements from these traditional tales. Such narratives often evolve, reflecting contemporary fears and societal concerns. No, it was a personal experience and minion to whoever sent him, which has led me back to this wandering unnameable unbound spirit who has gathered way too much power and seeks to use Solomon's seals, calling our children's descendants fallen in battle, against me. So I sought Solomon's help, as I was the one they call Asmodeus, who appeared in his dream as a child, gifted him with magic and knowledge. The reason they associated God with having given Solomon these things is because they seek to use this to seize control over Solomon in a plan to control the Holy Lands. Leaving me occupied with the title of the Antichrist they planned to bestow upon me in their plan, not saying that he did not encounter God, only that his knowledge of astrology and magic was given to him by me, the prophecy of his rise to become a ruler. Regardless, this is what I called him here to stand against. My enemy is one of these legends listed here.